You're listening to the Cap Stable Podcast, the official podcast of the Brave Collective and the Hero Coalition.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, my name is Zora, and welcome to the Cap Stable Podcast. Now with more boom. Let's get this tutorial started. Woohoo!
Hello and welcome to the Cap Stable Podcast, episode 61, recorded December 2nd, 2014. I'm your host, Stupid Genius, and together with our co-host, we cover all the news of EVE Online. Joining me tonight, we have Bach. Bach, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
That's great to hear. And also joining us tonight, we have Turbo. Turbo, how are you doing?
I'm doing much better now that I'm not halfway dead, so it's always a plus.
That's good to hear. And finally, last but not least, Langtheris, how are you doing?
I'm busy dying here, snickering and dying as I keep having to get Stu to say the lines over and over and over again because I'm a bad person.
First up, what have we been up to in the world of EVE there, Bach?
The usual trucking, some marketing, some dying in the blaze thanks to PL, but that was great. Welcoming new bros. We got a lot of them this week and eating turkey and more turkey. And I just finished with turkey tonight. So now I'm drinking a beer to try to soak that and feel full stomach crap feeling of being stuffed. But
so what are you drinking? Because you're probably the only one here actually drinking, if I'm not mistaken.
Blue Moon.
Nice.
Yeah, it's not a Blanche de Bruges. It's not a Garden, but it's better than nothing. Over that, in real life, I'm going to get busy because I'm getting a promotion and mostly extra work that's going to come with it. And I wanted to give thanks, because it's Thanksgiving, to my wife, my daughter, and to my friends. And also to PL for being bombed and bombed and bombed and bombed again in HCD. It looks like Dominic's are magnets to ice bombers for at least 4 more weeks maximum.
Hi, next up, Langtheris. What have you been up to in the world of EVE?
Oh, hold on. Sorry. Suffering from turkey DTs. So what have I been doing? Turkey gravy overdosing, or what happens when you cook 3 turkeys over 3 consecutive days. And for you non-Americans out there, just so that you know, we just finished celebrating the Thanksgiving holiday, also known as Gluttony Day. Besides that, after that, I got really sick and had 101 fever, but that doesn't stop me from playing EVE. No, it does not. In fact, I do some pretty remarkably crazy, stupid things, even more than usual when I'm really fever-driven. Let's see. What did I do that evidently was helped by my fever? Oh, I evidently helped kill an Aeon and an Archon. Thank you, PL. And another thing is, I can't believe I was seeing this right, but Mighty PL cowering in a POS, hiding from a Brave frigate fleet. I never thought I'd ever see that. All I have to say is, how much is Rush paying you? Calling on the evac of all the Corp non-combat assets because panic, YOLOing an impel, recklessly jumping the system to system with no regards to my safety or the very high value cargo in my ship because fuck it. That and giving Steam more of my money because evidently I have no self-control when I'm sick. And also a note, let's call this Lank's Corner. A note to all you new fleet pilots. More of a warning. When you're on a strat op, you can either decide to hang out with the Logi Bros, who usually don't get any kills but keep the fleet alive, or hang out with us idiot moron DPSers. But I'll tell you right now, after analyzing what goes on in comms, all you Logi Bros have it easy. You're sitting in there talking about stocks, sipping tea, talking about the latest episode of the Walking Dead, generally having a good grown-up time. However, us idiots who are sitting in a maddening migraine-inducing chatter of DPS comms, what the hell? Oh my God. I'm not going to use a word that's oftentimes used to describe the situation, but, oh God, my head splits and I am done.
I think that's because it takes less commitment to DPS than it does to Logi, so I guess it takes a different caliber of person
I guess
that.
So that, well, yeah, I mean that's the question. Do the logics have more time so they can get distracted, or do the DPS have more time so they can mess around? That's the real question here.
I think the problem is that again on DPS comms, everyone's out to make a name for themselves, and that evidently comes out with who can yell or scream the loudest. And even though you're told by the FC on the 30th time to shut the hell up, that is evidently prescribed. At least listened to and kind of articulated differently in the pea brains of us DPSers into talk more, shithead, talk more. Oh my god.
Curatoris primary, secondaries Blanco. What the f*** is wrong with you?
17 kilometers. F*** you.
Yeah, but, dude, armor hacks!
But with that, Turbo, what have you been up to in the world of Eve?
Been doing a little bit of ganking in high sec, helping out our mining bros to keep our little pocket of space that we mine in safe for us. And buying all the things because it's Black Friday. Yay. I bought a 4th account. I've only got 2 active right now, but I bought a 4th one for $5. And then I used a good old games plex deal and was able to get a single plex for like $13. So I think I'll have like $17 just to train a character for 13 days and then transfer it over to my main or one of my main accounts.
Yeah,
so
I have to thank you for that because I picked one of those up too. So
yeah, I think
a bunch
it's
of money on Plex.
$23 for 2 plexes or $13 for 1, which is really good deal. Other than that, I've been playing on CC a lot, and manual controls is so nice. It's that and PBR, which thank God it's not the beer because
That's a quick side note for our listeners out there. When they're initially talking about the physics or physical based lighting or whatever it's called, rendering, there was a tweet by somebody, I want to say it was Manifest or Falcon, and it said something about looking at the latest PBR ship designs. They look amazing. And I think it was Turbo, I could be wrong, but somebody was like in our back channels was like, I don't want a beer sponsored ship.
I said I don't want a hipster beer sponsored ship because that would be just horrible. It'd be a giant red, white, and blue painted whatever it was. I can't remember what he said he was flying at the time.
Was this the one led up to the PBR discussion of like advertising on a ship?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, that's what he thought it was. It was like a Sisters of Eve, except for like PBR on a ship, because somehow real world stuff finally made it into Eve and started sponsoring ships. Apparently,
I've been playing around up there. That's a lot of fun. It is way too bright though. After a few scanning downs, I was able to get out of there pretty easily, and it actually took us to our home little area of Catch, which was nice, which led to me starting to test out the new hacking sites, which, wow. When they said it was high-end exploration, it is high-end exploration. You have to have really good skills, and you have to be on top of everything, because if not, you're going to get blown up by sentries, or you're going to get blown up by one of the nasty little surprises that it leaves when you fail stuff.
Do you use the Move Me bot to get out to Thera, or did you scan it down?
I had to. It took me about 30 wormholes before I found one.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad. And just as a little caveat, when you're looking for the wormholes, it will say this leads to a unique wormhole system. So it's not anything kind of special. And I've been making sure that my scanning skills are up to par. Like I've bumped up everything that I can in the short little time that we had. Most everything's pretty decent train now, but I just finished hacking 5, so that'll help out because there is hacking and relic nodes in the new sites, the high-end ones. So you got to be able to do both and do both quickly because there are timers. What have you been up to, Stu?
Stratop after Stratop after Stratop. I have actually, apparently I have terrible luck with actually getting good fights in a Stratop. Apparently I'm the people, if you want to have a eventful Stratop, don't have me on your fleet or be in your fleet, because either I'm in the Harpy fleet that's just sitting in the pause while the Dominix is do pretty well and then eventually get pretty dunked heavily on by, I guess, bombers / Ishtars when they were evacing. Or I'm in the fleet right before the big shot op a little bit later on that gets all the good kills and Titan kills and stuff. And we'll talk a little bit about some of that later. But yeah, I was able to get on grid with a super, but I didn't have the guns to actually get any points onto it, so I couldn't, or excuse me, I didn't have the guns to get any hits on it, so I couldn't pad my kill board with it, so I was kind of sad with that. I've done a little bit of streaming on Twitch on the Cap Stable stream, nothing too serious, and I don't even have audio going right now because there's some audio issues on my side that I need to work out. As far as Open Broadcast Studio, there's just something that stopped working, but it should get fixed shortly. Besides that, I've been doing a lot of space trucking, been moving stuff. Well, first we were moving stuff to Head GP to get stuff secured. And then for those who haven't been, playing along at home, you may notice that PL went to take on Head GP, and they've now been contesting it and attacking that. And in the process, by the time I got stuff there that same week, they were attacking it. So I had to take everything back out of there to protect it so that we didn't have member stuff get lost there. And now I'm in the slow process of getting everything moved elsewhere. And last night was a big night for me. I think, like I showed the guys here in the back channels, I got like 5 hours of jump fatigue and that's only through using the jump freighter. And so that was somewhere around, I want to say 6 or 7 jumps. Not quite back to back, but the last few were back to back because it just timing wise, that's just what ended up being the case. Other than that, I've just been trying to follow along with all the news between Rhea and some of the other cool projects that are happening with all the newbies and stuff. So we'll go ahead and get into the community news here.
So the first community news is the Angel Project, the first annual Toys for New Bros. So Sindel struck again, and she's organizing an event. So if you remember last week, Gagali and Brave Logistics helped the Angel Project to consolidate all the assets of the charity. And now there's a new drive asking for donations in all the major hubs. So please donate all your slightly used ships and even slightly badly painted ships for New Bros. They will be used for good. As a reminder, the Angel Project is the only legit charity in EVE, which is kind of amazing considering the game it is.
That kind of makes me think of all the Toys for Tot runs that they have around where I'm at. So I kind of, hearing this kind of makes me think of like a whole bunch of industrial ships in a single line going to Jito with a whole bunch of ships in it.
Well, I just kind of think, I think Sindel would even be happy to have a PBR beer sponsored ship. I mean, she'll take anything. So you could even get her a PBR sponsored ship, and she'll take it and give it out to a newbie to go blow up. But besides that, so we have a call for interviews for the CSM 10 here at Cap Stable. The crew are getting ready for all the interviews that are going to be happening, and all to get ready for the Council of Stellar Management elections. For those unaware what that is it's the player organization. It's kind of unique in the MMO space. There's no other MMO that I'm aware of that has a player representation that is deeply integrated in the development and kind of gets basically a seat at the table many times at early development alpha stuff to give their opinion on. In this case, it is completely player elected, and us here at Cap Stable, as we did last year, are going to be doing one-on-one interviews with the various candidates. So if you are a candidate, or if you want to find out more about the CSM or their candidates, you can stop on by our website at capstable.net/CSM10 or CSMX, whichever one you prefer. They both go to the same place. It'll give you our little landing page there with all the latest info that we have, what candidates have been confirmed, and so forth. And we're going to start interviews the 15th of December, and elections will be February 25th.
Yes, end of February, with all the candidates that have to be known before January 29, I think.
So if you want to find out more about that, just head on our website, and we'll try to keep you informed with the latest info on the feeds. This week's EVE tip or tool of the week is going to be something a little special. CCP Falcon posted wanted to get more people streaming, posting videos, and everything else to get info out there to kind of show that EVE isn't this super mega high level. You need to be a veteran, otherwise you can't compete game. So you don't need to be, a 200 million skill point or multi-billion ISK player to be able to compete in this game. So Falcon's going to start streaming videos of himself on Twitch. He wants you guys to go out there, check it out. He wants you guys to start training and kind of figure out various things, and basically just get out there and spread the word about EVE isn't the big juggernaut that a lot of people think it is. It is a very unique game, but it's not necessarily a skill-intensive, veterans-only bitter vet game that you that nobody else can play. And so they've started up. If you want, there's a newbie resource kit that you can check out, and it has lots of info, all kinds of links of various things from chat resources, rookie chat, some of the tools, tips, tricks, tool tips, some of the terminology FAQ, link to Fuzzy Steve's EVE lexicon to give you all the various definitions of, 7.0, point, all the crazy terms that we use. There's a whole lexicon that people are putting together, and it's a wiki, so anybody can edit it and update it as needed. So check that out.
The TLDR to all that, ladies and gentlemen, is that ignore everything the bitter vets tell you. Be social, talking local, and check this out, because all those old guys who say you can't do that, they don't know what the heck they're talking about.
No, and we want to thanks CCP Falcon to do that, especially that he's kind of putting himself on the line. And all the people which are angry with the new developments, like the IS boxes, they already put a big target on him, and they're going to hunt him during his streaming. So it's going to be funny. So in the new bro tip of the week, a few things that we wanted to say for all the newcomers, because EVE is not that simple and you're going to have Peter vets telling you crap. So the first tip is bigger is not always better. It's not a standard MMO. You don't need to rush to the bigger ship, to the more shinier ship, to the most expensive ship. It's false. First, you need to learn how to fly the smaller ships. And most of the people, they go back to the smaller ships because it's the most fun per hour. That's where the fun is, flying small, fast frigates and dunking on people. After that, you can learn bigger ones, but get the basics, get the best fun, and it will be the best game for you. And you'll be frustrated if you get in too fast in a big hole. Other things, everybody thinks that, people with godzillion of skill points, they are better than you. No, they are not better than you. EVE is not about skill points. It's pretty easy to be good at one thing. It doesn't take a lot of skill points. So someone that has a lot of skill points is someone which is extremely versatile. He can change things. He can be an interceptor. He can be a logistic pilot. He can be a cruiser pilot. He can be a carrier pilot. He can be a trader. He can be a marketeer. He can be an industrialist. It's just versatility. A new bro with less than a month in a frigate can be extremely competitive, even against someone which has 200 million skill points. So just train your core skills, do some specialization at the beginning instead of being bad at everything like I was, and you'll have fun flying small ships and doing support roles and after that attacking. On Twitter, there was 2 very good tweets from Yana Faral, so kudos to you. And that was 2 new bro tips. The first tip was spread your attributes out evenly and save your remaps. Because when you start for the first year, you will end up training all sorts of skills. So you're going to need all the statistics. So don't specialize at the beginning. It's bad. Second tip, training a level 5 skill or skill to level 5 is rarely worth it. It takes a long time for a small benefit. The only time you should train a skill to level 5 at the beginning is if that skill opens up something that you need, another skill or a module. In any other case, 3 or 4 is way enough at your level. Later on, when you're no more a new bro, you can get all those skills to 5 and be perfect, but later on.
With that, I think we'll head into the news.
Warning, 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 this is important. This is the news. It is super important, or at least dramatic.
Lore alert! Lore nerd alerts! A supernova getting brighter in geospace. So there was a couple of posts in regards to some bit of lore in regards to the upcoming Thera release. In regards to what exactly is Thera? A very interesting lore, like I said, on the blog post from CCP Delegate, as well as our folks and our friends down at the Hydrostatic Podcast who dedicated an entire show on all the lore. Peace out, my nerd bros. Peace out.
In other news, iXboxer, that's soon finished, finally. So CCP has clarified their rules. They didn't change the rules. They say that now they're going to start enforcing on January 1st any program or tool or whatever that allows you to provide the same input to multiple accounts will be a bannable offense. So check out. It's very important. People are extremely upset.
You know, guys, the best tweet that came out on Twitter in regards to that was attributed to Mike Azariah, and he states, "I'm confused. Are a lot of people complaining about Xboxer changes or one guy with a lot of accounts?"
No, that was pretty funny. I have to admit, I gave a good chuckle when I saw that.
Yeah, but in any case, what happens is that the plex dropped. It dropped like a brick. It was almost getting to 1 billion.
Didn't we just say that plex would just continue to go up and up and up? What's this? There's some conspiracy going on here.
They're out to make you look bad, Stu. School.
Yeah, I'm sure it's PL that ordered Xander to manipulate CCP to make our previous episode predictions on plex of prices to go false. Just 1 hour after the release of the episode, CCP dropped the hammer with that news. The plex dropped almost 15% within the next days. And there's the bazaar, which is full of alt characters for sale. So I'm sure PL is one of our more devious plans.
Well, to add to the block, remember, CCP over the Black Holiday weekend decided to give us a price break on Plex. So maybe that too. Conspiracy. C-O-N-spiracy.
Looks like there's going to be some small beam changes coming up, which pretty neat considering that sometimes beams are really good and sometimes are really bad. But looks like they're buffing them 20% DPS. The caps will be the same and more alpha strike, but with less range on short range ammo and more effective range on the long range ammo. So they're stretching the ranges out, making it hit a little bit harder, but it's still going to be very cap intensive. So that'll be pretty neat. But are they ever going to nerf Scorch? Because Scorch is overpowered.
No such thing. No such thing. As a beam user, I reject your reality and substitute my own.
And next up, we got some more info on the Confessor, and we actually got some news and the actual numbers that we're going to be looking at for that. I won't kind of bore you on the details of that, but it looks like pretty standard. You're going to have small energy turrets there. You have a little bit of bonus to heat reduction, so you can overheat a little bit better on those, which is kind of expected for T3 things. As Turbo mentioned, there were some changes to small lasers, and this kind of goes hand in hand with that. So, actually, late breaking, there might be a Scorch ammo and pulse change. Maybe we missed this.
Dun dun dun!
Optimal range is being increased on pulse lasers. The optimal bonus provided by Scorch ammo is being reduced from 50% to 40%. Not a really big nerf by any means. At least as far as I can tell. They still seem to be, from what I'm reading in the thread, just looking through, it still seems like many people think that it's still very powerful and probably still a bit overpowered compared to other things, but we shall see how the numbers work. With that said, there's also a video here of the Confessor going through all its various changes and its various configurations. One thing I'm noticing, and maybe I'm just looking at it wrong, but whenever this Johnny Pugh on YouTube switches to the speed mode, I'm not seeing an actual speed boost to the ship. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe is it just an extra increase to the propulsion?
It's agility.
The bonus increases agility and micro warp drive effectiveness.
Okay. So it doesn't actually increase the. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see that now. Sorry, I looked back. Yeah, it's propulsion mode. So it is 66.6% bonus to maximum velocity while in propulsion mode. Well, no, because that's not true. That's the numbers that they have. Something's off there. Maybe the CC numbers are off, and something's not working properly.
I know I read somewhere stating that all the bonuses and all the features haven't been implemented quite yet. They're still messing around with it. So
there you go.
Surprised if some things aren't working quite as intended yet.
But I will say the video is quite cool. It's kind of cool to see you be able to switch the modules out, switch the modes out in space and just kind of be able to do it. I know there's a slight timing thing there as far as switching between the modes, but it looks pretty cool, and you could see very distinctive changes in the way that the ship looks. So it should make for much clearer when you're fighting a speed fit confessor versus a sniping fit confessor, or vice versa. And for those that don't know, I don't know if I mentioned it before, it is a T3 destroyer from the MR. That's from the contest they did a while back where they were collecting the blue loot from the wormholes.
I would almost bet that there's a timer that you can't change if you're in like a fight. So like if you're in a fight, like you can change from the video. It looks like you can change relatively fast. But I'm willing to bet that if you're in combat and you have a combat timer, you're not allowed to change as fast.
In any case, we're running at 40 kilometers a second with snakes, which is incredible.
That is fast. I want to go fast.
I want to go pew pew. Fast is only secondary.
What's kind of interesting is the tactical destroyers, or the T3 destroyers, will actually be able to go anywhere an interdictor is allowed to go. So pretty much any kind of faction warfare plex or small plex like that, you can also have these T3s go in. Well, I should say tactical destroyers. I don't want to get confused with the actual T3 cruisers. So I'll say tactical destroyers from now on to set it straight. But so that should make some interesting times for the people for in faction warfare.
Pew pew time.
I want to burn people at 40 kilometers a second.
Oh, that'd be so annoying for all those kiters, man. Oh, but anyway. So, you guys like EVE Online? You think it's the bee's knees, as they say? Do you like to let the entire world know how much you love EVE Online? Well, evidently, you can vote for EVE as the best MMO of 2014 under the best sandbox, best PvP, and evidently also the best MMO game over at MMO Games. You can go through there. You can see some of the other categories, other games in there. Because really, who's playing Warcraft? I lie. Everyone's playing Warcraft. But really, who's playing like ArcAge? Who really plays ArcAge? Anyway, so go check it out. Vote early, vote often.
Not me. I don't play ArcAge anymore.
Not bitter at all. Well, Hero Catch Defense update is pretty big this time because PL didn't need that Titan or Aeon or a bunch of other ships that they've lost. Looks like right before I got in on the fight, there was a Titan that was tackled, and VTAC 3. From what I understand, the guy wanted to Doomsday a Dread, and the Dread was able to tank the Doomsday, and in that time he refused to get help until it was too late when he was calling for Sinos to be lit to jump out, and he couldn't.
Can I jump in on that? And I believe it was Fuzzy Steve posted on his SoundCloud recordings of what was going on in PL comms.
No, you are wrong. It is not Fuzzy Steve. It is
Nick Fuzzy.
Nick Fuzzy.
Nick Fuzz.
Nick Fuzzy. Sorry, too many fuzzies. Sorry, Nick Fuzzy posted. Thank you for that. Correction there, Stu. I would have made it look like an ass of myself again. So you can listen to the recording and kind of guffaw and laugh, because evidently it wasn't necessarily to just doomsday a bunch of people. He wanted to smart bomb a bunch of frigates from the discussion on the recording. I do warn you, it is considered not safe for work because there's some harsh language. Naughty. But yeah, you get to hear what, basically the entirety of the PL fleet jump on poor old Hurley, who now evidently has put his account up for sale in the character bazaar.
Yeah.
I did one ISK, but then I was advised I apparently was trolling or making a discussion. So,
and they also were able to get his pod, which is 5.5 billion. The 146 billion Titan was actually supposed to be one of the most expensive losses in all of EVE that's not been a Revenant. So that's pretty neat. The Aeon kill, I was
Sorry, real quick, Turbo. Did you guys see the was it the Ishtar? I don't remember which one it was that picked up the loot from the Titan and then got bombed by. So there was a
it was smart bombed.
There was a no. He was normal bombed. He was normal. So there was a brave guy, BNI guy, who went in and scooped some loot. I think he got like 23 billion ISK approximately, and he scooped some of the loot from it, including like a officer smart bomb, and was trying to get out, and he got bombed by one of the BNI guys who was, or assuming one of the brave/hero guys who were trying to get in on the avatar kill, and it blew up. And then, but luckily, the exotic dancer male survived in both cases, so we're safe, we're good. One thing, sorry to interrupt her, but one thing I wanted to mention though, this was all part of a quote unquote trap or elaborate plan that Hero had put together, where there was a wormhole all the way over to Declan, where they had Black Legion come through a wormhole in an Ishtar fleet and actually help out on this kill. So it was a multi-front effort. It wasn't just Hero Coalition.
Oh yeah, I was there and we had them temporary blued from what I understand. The Aeon kill, I was there for, like Stu, but I bought a Mollis off of the contracts in GE TAC, and it had no guns or any drones that could actually do any damage. So I was stuck there trying to damp something I couldn't damp. Yay, fun. You can also get the video of it and watch the whole thing. We have a link to that.
Additionally, there was another fight that I was actually a part of, and I stress a part of in the capacity of sitting around a pause from the majority of it. But this was one when I joined the Harpy fleet. We were having some issues getting a signal lit apparently, and so we ended up burning over there, got into the fight late. There was, I think, PL formed up a Tengu fleet, and then there was also a couple bomber wings, I think from Waffles, if I remember correctly, and maybe some other people, some of the IS Ishbakers, or what is it, IS Boxers, Ishbaker, whatever that thing is. And so they took out some of the guys on the Dami fleet. We were in Harpy, supposed to be trying to do anti-bomber, but for whatever reason we didn't get moved into position right or whatever. So PL got to pad their kill boards a bit on that. But we did get to win the strategic objective with I think probably one of the largest showings in a long time from any entity in EVE. Not forever. I at least Randolph made the claim that it was the largest form up ever, but I'm pretty sure that is not the case, because as many people mentioned in the comments of that thread on Reddit, Test has had well over 1,000 people form up for the Battle of 1 TAC SMEB and the Battle of 6 VDT. So I think the hero numbers were around 600 or so, give or take. But there was definitely at least 3 fleets full from the Brave side, and I think Test also had their own fleet going. That was a pretty good time. That was just for the jump bridge pause timer and to protect the pause so that it would come out of reinforcement and we could get it back online and everything like that. They did also attack the station the night before when they encapped the pause. But the following night there was a shield timer for the station that was supposed to be pretty big, but apparently PL strategically stood down, I guess I would call it, or maybe they didn't feel like showing up. I'm not sure. But whatever the case is, about 2 or so hours later they showed up and reinforced. They re-SBU'd the system, encapped the jump bridge, and left. They did not attack the station and put in reinforcement. They did take out the station services, though. I don't know later, once the SBUs came on, maybe you guys would know. I haven't checked what's up right this moment. Did they re-attack the station today?
No, there's no timer for the station or for the IOB or anything.
Okay, so as of right now, it sounds like HED is in Brave control with defensive SBUs in position, and I guess we're waiting to see what the next move is for PL in the Great Catch War of 2014.
So, little things that came today. So CCP informed us of a new development that is going to help a lot of people. So they're going to simplify the recruitment process. Right now, when you recruit, the person has to apply to the corporation. A recruiter has to invite the player, then the player has to accept the invite, and after that the person enters, which is a very long process. And we saw that in Brave. It was horrible for 1 week. We got 2,200 people coming in. So our recruitment officers was just stamping everything that was coming on and getting carpal tunnel issues. So CCP Lebowski informed us that there's going to be a new function just for the recruiters of Corp, and they can select someone in the channel and just invite them directly. So after that, the player has to accept the invite, and the character enters the corp. But that's one less step. And of course, people started complaining, saying that it will be abused and people will be spamming local in the newbie systems. And CCP already told that they would remove that function from whatever corps does that, and they would ban those people. So enjoy.
And finally, Hero Coalition, or actually, I guess more specifically, Brave Collective CEO Lichten Condor. He's also the one of the leaders of Hero Coalition. He posted their State of the Alliance today, and he had a pretty long statement. Apparently, didn't take questions. It appears to be a prepared statement for the most part. Basically, giving a summary from the last time they've had a State of the Alliance for the Brave Collective. I wouldn't say any real surprises that I can think of at the moment. Pretty much just to saying that they're waiting to see what's coming up next with Rhea, to see what's going to happen. And so far, they've been happy with what's been going on. Brave isn't limited to any one location or anything of that sort. And I think the only real takeaway I had from that is Lichten needs to get a better mic.
Oh, please, can we get him a better mic? So I'm going to say it right here, right now.
Or better bandwidth. I'm not sure which.
Well, I will state it for the record. I will start with the Help Lank Get Lichten a Decent Mic Fund. So contact me in game. We'll figure out how to get him a decent, good, like USB mic that he can use for these recordings. Because, man, Lichten, love you. We want to have you on the show again, but get a better mic, please, please. The soul bleeds hearing now that crackle and noise.
And I think with that, we're going to go ahead and head into our big talk.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the big talk. I take no responsibility for what these idiots are about to say.
All right, so this week's big talk is going to be talking all about Rhea coming December 9th. As many of you know, this has a ton of new features, probably one of the largest content expansions they've had in a number of years, if not ever. Of course, one of the hallmarks of the expansion is Thera, the one of the 101 shattered wormhole systems. That is just, as we said, one of many. It has stations, NPC stations in it. You can't put capitals in it. You can't put passes in it, and you can't anchor bubbles in it. It's an interesting gameplay, and it sounds like you can even, they have clone services in there, so you can even get like a jump clone in there in theory and jump to that. So it sounds like there are definitely some opportunities for people to have some fun there and then jump back to wherever they normally live and, you know, kind of jump back and forth and kind of, it may even really be the Jita that, the black market Jita or the Mos Eisley of Eve that CCP has envisioned.
Yeah, it sounds like they're going to be Sisters of Eve stations, so that would probably be the reputation that you need to actually get in there and set up clone services, unless you just leave a clone there.
So did you know, quick aside, did you know there's a ship in the game that you can warp into a wormhole sites and not get shot by the wormhole rats? It's called a Zephyr.
Yeah, I've got.
I never knew that.
Yeah, I got 3 of them.
You can't do anything with it besides warp into the sites because it only has one mid slot.
Nope, it's got one high slot. You can put a scanning probes on it, and that's
the scanning probe launcher that it gives you.
Yeah, and that's it. But you can't get shot. You don't get shot at by sleepers, and it's fairly reminiscent of the Solar Sailor from Tron.
Anyways, so besides that, of course, we have the changes to clones coming. Well, actually, I want to back up for a second. CCP just released, as we're recording this today, December 2nd, they just released the in-development video, which covers all the features of Rhea. I'm going to put that in the show notes, so make sure you watch that if you haven't already. But of course, they're getting rid of the clone grades, so no more skill loss on pod death, except... Well,
in a T3
unless you're in a Tech 3 cruiser, then you will lose skill points. But that's not pod related, right?
Nope, that's not. So
they said they would revisit that in a future
content patch.
I'll get the link in here. But they actually expanded on the clone grades earlier today too.
Yeah, so let's see there. What else is there? Okay, we got some sleepers roaming around known space. So we got that. So again, get your handy Zephyr around if you need one. What else? The Bowhead has been released. Oh, it is official with final skins and the final attributes to it.
Another thing that's coming in, Ray, is the sleeper cache, the high-end exploration sites, which I mentioned earlier, and it truly is in game for exploration people that really enjoy it. And they've also had the polarized weapon modules in the game since I think middle of November. Whenever they released the first little sets of the sleeper sites in HiSec, yeah, and they are expensive. I think last time I looked in Amara, they were $200 million for one single gun. So yeah, you won't catch gankers using those.
So what else is there? So brand new spanking UI look. Everything's blue and Sean now. So
you can actually have it set up in a bunch of different color modes. Like it's not just blue, but you can also set it to where it changes per ship. It's like if you have Minmatar, it's a Minmatar theme. If you have Amar, it's an Amarian theme.
See, I do that for combat and Logi and like prober ships, so I know at least visually, without the fact that I'm staring straight at my ship, what I'm flying. So there's that, and they're stepping into the Aeroglass era, with having Windows transparency options as well as brand new interfaced icons. So evidently, they must have a friend at Apple Computers that taught them the importance of producing and using soul-soothing icons.
Also, they have the new opt-in star map, which you give you a little sample of the video, the in-development video. It looks pretty interesting. The problem is where the heck do you enable this thing? Because Turbo was on the test server earlier today. He didn't see it. I'm going through some of the features and ideas threads, and I can't seem to find where the heck they're saying that's going to enable it. So it sounds like it should be pretty cool. It's a new look for the star map that probably hasn't changed in a number of years. But so if you can find it, check it out.
So as we talked last week, the manual control is finally getting in. So the WASD, that's for QWERTY keyboards. So that's great. I'm going to get my Nostromo back and I'll be playing with 2 keyboards and 1 mouse and a microphone and 3 screens. Perfect.
I wonder if it'll work because I use the X Gamepad Riva, the thing that turns your tablet into a controller pad. I wonder if I'll be able to use that as well. But of course, I'd really want to have a joystick and throttle, but that's just me. But another news. So they, like we mentioned earlier today, the PBR, that's physically based rendering, not Pabst Blue Ribbon, is being used to render your ships pixel by pixel, making them look a lot prettier and a lot shinier. Some would say too shiny on the side of the Minmatar ships. So I wonder how that will affect when it comes to calling out visual targets, as well as, for you folks who have to play in potato mode, i.e. lowered graphics mode because of giant fights. Will you even care?
While I was on the test server, I was looking at some of the new ship visuals that they're adding in, and they've changed up all the T2 variants of the MOA so that it's not all the same. And they've the Incursus now has moving parts on it, which it looks really neat. And then the Dreadnought skins. Dreadnoughts look really awesome, but it sounds like they die a bit too fast for that. So why would you want to have a Dreadnought skin? Sounds like fun, though.
Because you want to be the first one alpha off the field.
Yep, that's a big target to have something special and shiny.
Shoot at the pink one,
No, the shiny one, the armor one. So, same news about the Crest, the SSO, and the AV APIs. So we put a link on the AVGAS video from the Crest API changes. So if in case you didn't see it already, but it's kind of all news, nothing new about it, but it's finally coming.
By the way, one final thing. CCP did kind of stealthily announce that they're going to be announcing the announcement of the changes that are going to be potentially coming to Sovereignty. CCP Seagull, in a reply to a tweet, mentioned that we can expect to hear something before the end of December. Many people are thinking that we're going to hear about it come the next 7.0 show, or the '07 show, whichever way you prefer to say it. So keep an eye on that to hear more about sovereignty. But next week, for a big talk, we'll be having a talk on sovereignty. And so if you'd like what's the word I'm looking for? The precursor, you can check out the link in our show notes for kind of overview of how Sov works. And then we'll give a big rundown next week as well.
Yes, because Stu is bad, but we love him.
Yeah, so we're linking a post of Reddit, which has been posted today by Dave Corral from BNI, which is simple, straight to the point, and explains how Sov works right now, and how you attack Sov and how you defend Sov. And it also gives concrete example about why we did things like we did for the HED defense on Saturday and Sunday. So it's a very good post. It's a very good Reddit post. And I'm pretty sure it's going to end up on the wiki, on the Brave wiki. And that's good because kudos to him.
You should totally rip off that post, by the way, until the new Sov comes in. But until in the meantime, totally rip it off.
And with that, we'll go ahead and head into the kill of the week.
Pew pew pew. The kill of the week. Take that, noob. Ha ha ha.
So the kill of the week is an interesting kill mail we find either through our countless hours of going through kill mails, or sometimes people are really nice and they email it to us. The kill of the week can be anything from the most expensive fit to the most hilarious fit to the most random reasons of all. This one is a pretty interesting one we got sent from one of our listeners, Dirk Aturu. I'm going to go with
Aturo.
He's from Drop Bears Anonymous, which is Brave Collective's Wormhole Corp, one of their higher tier Wormhole Corps. And if I recall correctly, this dread was actually from a gank that was actually set up days and weeks in advance. Effectively, they had been scouted. They'd been spotted moving into a wormhole, and so a handful of people from Hard Knocks and another basically coalition in wormhole space had spotted them moving into this wormhole. So they slowly snuck in their various T3s and everything and had them all offline, or either had them sitting on a hole that they're waiting for everybody online. So they waited for everybody to get in the system and start, getting ready to rat or whatever they're going to do, because apparently they were moving into this hole. And then finally they got wrecked by this. They meaning Drop Bears and Dirk Arturo also got killed. He had a dreadnought, and it was not a terribly expensive fit. I mean, it was faction fit, and for the most part, 1 or 2 blue pieces, but nothing crazy expensive, it looks like. But definitely about 5.2 bills. Wormhole guys are a little bit lucky in that they can kind of spare to lose a bit of ISK here and there, but it definitely is an interesting kill mail. So if you have one, you can send us an email at podcast@capstable.net, and we will be happy to feature it on the show. And finally, for feedback this week, we have 2 little pieces of feedback. The first one I'll take is on iTunes, is from Ty42. He just said, "My life was meaningless until I found this podcast," and gives a 5-star review. So thanks a bunch. And then I guess I'll go ahead and let Lank take this next one. It's from Reddit, from a guy named Panic Later.
I just wanted to take the time to thank you guys for doing your podcast. I was struggling to find a way to make my daily hourly commute into a more productive, and the Cap Stable podcast has kept me suitably entertained. Not only do I get to hear about Eve, but more importantly, the Hero Coalition. After I've gone through all that back catalog, my only gripe is that you guys don't produce it 5 days a week. 7-0 AIU bros. If we did it 7 days a week or 5 days a week, I'd die. I would just die.
My wife would kill me.
I think I actually told him that exact same thing. Is I think I'd literally die if we did it 5 days a week. So I would. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I would be divorced. I would be dead. I would be poor. But as long as it brings a shiny, happy smile to you guys' faces, I'd sort of consider it sort of, if it weren't for the fact that I needed to eat.
And finally, shout outs this week. Shout outs usually when we just kind of give a little, hey, thanks, or, something like that, where we kind of, throughout the week, we've either had a great thing happen, someone did a cool thing, or we just want to say, hey, great job, and keep doing what you're doing. So first off, Turbo, what's been up and what's your shout out this week?
Shout out this week, go out to Adaries Ederon for the follow on Twitter. I don't really have many people following me, so it's nice to have somebody follow me, I guess.
Did you hear that, guys? At Turbo Addiction on Twitter. Go follow him now.
Start cyberstalking in 3, 2, 1. As for myself, big shout out to Marduk Alfurier, our fellow Corpy, for getting on that Titan kill, you lucky bastard, and for helping shepherd all those news bros from the newbie starter zone all the way to catch. Good job.
One thing to mention on that is Marduk was in a fleet with a guy that was from us. He'd joined us a week prior, and that was his first time playing the game. He was 7 days old and got on a Titan kill.
7 days old. His name was this is Smokey the Bear. He's like, this is my first ever fleet, and I got myself on a Titan kill. Only in Brave, gentlemen and ladies. Only in Brave.
Yeah, his killboard is going to be green for some time.
Like forever.
Kind of, yeah. If he stays in Brave, kind of. So I have plenty of shout-outs. My first shout-out goes to TARDIS Phoenix from the League of Nefarious Gentlemen. And I met him on the Angel Product channel this weekend, and he asked me to pass hi to the Castable crew. So, hi, Castable crew. My second shout-out goes to our friends from PL, and especially to Aruko0418 from Sniggerdoggly, whatever.
Sniggeredly.
Okay, Sniggerdoggly. So, yeah, we love you. And we only tease you because we really care about you. We care a lot about a good health for Pandemic Legions, and we care about having good fights that you bring us. You're really pushing us to learn fast and die even faster. But each time you kill a new bro, we get 2 new bros joining in. So thanks for CCP for this video, and thanks for Pandemic Legion for the content creation. Thanks to both of you, and we got 2,200 new bros this week. But on a more serious note, whatever the future of SOV is, it is very important for the health of the game that we have strong third parties with no ties to any type of donut, blue donut, or even bits of them. So we need a strong Pandemic Legion, Black Legion, and any other third parties entity. We need those people to be able to scramble the decks, be the kind of wild card, the wild factor, and we're going to keep the game fresh and the meta game interesting. So when the SOV changes come in, or when your contract ends, if it's a contract, and you leave for greener pastures, don't forget us and come roam from time to time. We love you all.
Don't forget the holidays. We like Christmas cards and Hanukkah cards and even Kwanzaa.
And my last thank and the last shout out goes to a new old bro, which is leaving us, Elon Musk, and he just donated 120 billion to the Brave Dojo. So there's a link about the Reddit thread, and stay classy and come back to Eve and come back to us whenever you want. Otherwise, good life. Live long and prosper.
My shout out this week is going to be out to Braves. I guess he's technically the director of internal. What's the little internal? Not revenue.
Infernal Repairs.
Infernal Repair. This is the weirdest title ever. But Kagali is he's often called. Is usually just called Kagali. He is an Aussie bro. He's a great guy. He doesn't take crap and doesn't let harassment go through. So he's always willing to put down the boot on any kind of harassment or sexist or non-classy things that are going on in Brave. And so I just want to give a shout out to him for both keeping a lid on those sorts of things, as well as pushing for spotlighting people who do good things. So there's also the ability to put people's names up who've done great things for Brave, whether they're helping out new bros or they're doing something else. Through their entire HR department, he has the ability to not only reprimand people, but he's also willing to spotlight people and keep that kind of nice balance between good and evil, so to speak. And with that, I think that's going to be our show. So, Link, how can people get a hold of us?
I'm glad you asked you. We can be found on iTunes, Stitcher, RRS feed, now on YouTube. Show notes can be found at our website at capstable.net. Our email address is podcast@capstable.net, and we welcome your feedback. If you have topics, segments, comments, ideas, corrections to our ADC, or anything you'd like to talk to us about, let us know. Any and all feedback is appreciated, even you PL guys who think we're being too harsh towards you.
We have a new Bob. We are the new Bob.
We're awful.
Oh, by the way, if any PL dudes want to come on the show and talk about your side, I would be welcome to it. I prefer you to be in somewhat high ranking. You don't have to be graph or anything, but
I
you,
want graph. I want
line members. You may not have the full story, so I prefer to have someone at least a little bit in the know. No
Jeff
offense.
Raider.
Anyways, finally, you can find us all on Twitter at Capstable for the show, at _stupid genius for myself, at Lank Theros for Lank, at Bach for Collective for Bach, and at Turbo Addiction for Turbo. And the slackers this week can be found at AIE Hoots and at Kuda Timberline. And on behalf of Lank, Bach, Turbo, and myself, this is Stupid Genius saying thanks for joining us on this episode of the Cap Stable Podcast. Explode hilariously, ladies and gentlemen, and have a great week. Wet my whistle. Well, that didn't work at all. Awesome. I am not wearing any pants, apparently. Thanks, Lank. I'm your host, Stupid Genius, and what the hell's going on?
Not to be me, but I'm dying here.
Creditors primary. Screw you, screw you. I'm a hacks. I'm a hacks. All right, well, I'm going to be editing that out. We have a breathalyzer that you take before you come on the show.
Beer. Beer.
While you're
that?
sick officially.
Yeah, I am sick and I'm drinking beer. So yeah, that'll go great.
Ah, dang it, Lank. I hate you. Ugh, jeez, you guys are useless. Voices in my head tell me to kill you. Don't forget to put...
Jeff Raider!